Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel A Plus Productions, and today I'm going to be basically trying to show you guys a few tips and just some advice for complete beginners. So this is basically a tutorial on how to play the game for Xbox controllers. I mean, obviously if you play on PlayStation or if you have a PlayStation controller, you can watch as well. I mean, it's kind of the same. But the whole point is that I'm just going to be showing you some really easy ways to get better at the game without physically needing to improve. Because, I mean, a lot of the time, people aren't reaching their full potential because of their settings, they're messed up. So the biggest reasons why some people can't get better is because of their sensitivity. You know, sometimes your sensitivity is too high, sometimes your sensitivity is too low, so make sure you do experiment around with which one feels most comfortable for you. Personally, these are mine, but yeah, just don't go off, if I were to give you advice about sensitivity, don't, search up pro people sensitivities or pro people settings. It doesn't matter, it's about you, okay? Because, I mean, it's about your hand size, it's about how you move, it's an individual thing, okay? But personally, these are mine. Shouldn't influence how you change yours, but also make sure you have your edit hold time down as well. Because obviously, if it's up, or at the default, which is 0.2, there'll just be that little bit of a delay. And, sometimes that delay may not be noticeable, but in-game, if it's at 0.1, that'll help you a lot. Next up, I did post a YouTube tutorial on, I posted a YouTube tutorial on how to get rid of hold time for editing. So if you want to go back and look at that, you can. Now, first of all, make sure you have the really good keybinds, okay? Because I'm going to show you mine because this is a bit different to sensitivity. Sensitivity is purely your choice, but sometimes, settings. So basically, if I were to give you advice, for Xbox and PlayStation controllers, when you just start B or whatever this button is on the PlayStation controller, I think it's circle, this will be your switch mode button and your edit button. So if you just find this, so for me it's B or circle, it should say switch mode / edit. That's usually what it would say if you're a complete beginner and you haven't changed your settings. Now, basically what this does is that it gives you hold time. So if you want to edit a build, doesn't matter what, you have to hold it, okay? Oops. And I'm telling you, this is noticeable. This is the one that's actually noticeable. It's really bad, okay? So immediately, if you're comfortable with having B as your edit, then what you would do is you would do this as edit, and you have to make another one switch mode, because they have to be two different keybinds. I explained this in my other videos, so I'm not going to get into depth of it, but yeah, just make sure, go into my other video, make sure you don't have hold time, okay? And my other little tip is if you play on controller and you play non-claw, I would definitely suggest using the left stick. A lot of PlayStation controllers use the right stick, but I think the left stick is definitely most popular. But if you're using claw, I think claw is like this. Usually what you would do is you would hover your index finger around the button that is your edit button. So sometimes for face where it's Y or it's B, it's really hard to master claw. This is what claw looks like. It's really, personally, I find it really uncomfortable. But it's a personal option. If you do get good on claw, then you can really get very good, but it's just really hard to learn. I personally speaking, I just can't get the hang of holding this on my controller. It just feels better if I'm like this, It just looks better, it feels better. Yeah, it just sits right with me. So for me, as a non-claw player, what I would do is I would put the left stick or the right stick as edit. As you can see, if you play non-claw, this is usually what you would be, how you would be holding your controller. And if you were to edit, you just press that. It's easy as that. Yeah, whereas if you were to have circle or B as your edit, basically, as you can see, I have to, this is my viewing button. If I were to look around, this is what I do. If I'm in the middle of a fight, specifically a build fight, and I'm looking around building, and I was to edit, what I had to do is I'd have to press this and then come back. Let's go back to settings. And that's really unhelpful, whereas you could be pressing the edit button and then immediately, I'm just gonna go into creative and demonstrate this. It's really helpful, but obviously it's your choice as well. I'm just gonna show you because it's hard. It's a lot easier to interpret it when I'm visualizing it. And I guess I'll also go through the, where's my portal? Oh, here. And I'm also going to explain to you like all the kind of controls and what I recommend for each of them. So, let's say, hypothetically, B or circle is my edit. And let's say, yeah, let's say B is my edit. Oops, I don't have a switch mode. Well, since B is my edit, let's just make this my switch mode. Let's say you've turned off this the whole time, yet you haven't changed the actual edit to. Alright, so I've got my building out. Let's say I've built around me, so I'm really bad at controller. So as you can see with my controller, if I was to try and edit this, I have to reach over, press B, and then I'd have to come back to actually successfully edit it. So it's actually a lot harder because what you have to do is, in fast motion, it looks like this. And that's a lot harder than simply doing this. It may take a while to get used to, but it will be a lot more worth it. Oops. And you can just do that. I'm not good at controller, okay? So, yeah, just what I'm trying to say is, if you're playing non-claw, I would definitely recommend making one of the sticks your controller edit. I think, yeah, it's a lot easier that way. It's just a lot easier to edit and stuff like that. Alright, so next up, let's just go through all of the settings. I mean, this is also your choice. I mean, the colorblind doesn't really affect my gameplay, so, but I'd also, kind of, like, recommend having auto open doors on, because if you're in, like, if you're in a build fight and then you're going to edit a wall, but you accidentally edit a door when you were intending to build like this, and then, but like, and if you accidentally build a door, then you would automatically still walk through it, even if you built a door, you know? So, see, look, so it wouldn't really impact your gameplay that much. Whereas if you accidentally built a door when it wasn't on, you would have to like physically process the fact that you've built a door and then press the button, you know? It's just a lot easier. Yeah, that's just really helpful, very simple. And yeah, this should definitely be hold jump. Like, this is definitely hold jump, because if you're just walking here, if you do as hold forward, let's say you're just walking, you would automatically jump up when you won't want to. But, you know, if you just jump, you can hold jump if you want to. Like, it's just so much easier, like, literally. You could, because, I mean, if it was hold forward, if you changed yours to hold forward, you'd be, like, mantling accidentally all over the place. Okay, now this. So personally, I would recommend making sure that your HUD scale isn't at 100 or definitely certainly not above 100, because then it could get in the way of your view and your gameplay. I mean, 100% isn't big. It's just like, it's a lot easier when it's smaller because you can focus on the actual gameplay instead of your HUD. That's why I actually have it at usually like 85. Just to the point where I can clearly see it, but it doesn't interfere with anything I am doing in the game. So I might want to say something about the reticle ammo indicator. If you're playing, I mean, if you turn this off, it'll obviously probably reduce lag by just a tiny bit, just reduce a little bit of lag. And yeah, if it's on, then it might impact your FPS just the tiniest bit, but I would recommend it if it doesn't impact any of it. I'm lagging a lot at the moment, which is really weird. But it basically, what it does is that it shows you how much ammo you have, and that's really helpful because if you're in a build fight and you need to shoot and you think that you still have ammo when you actually don't, that could basically probably make you die. I'm lagging a lot right now, but I would recommend having it on. If you like play on a laptop, like 30, 60 or 100 FPS or something like that, or maybe let's just say 30 or 60, you could have it off, but I play 60 FPS and I have it on and it doesn't really impact anything, so yeah, I would recommend having it on. I used to play, yeah, if you play Nintendo and you're in 30 FPS, you should have it off, because, I mean, it just helps with your gameplay. As long as you're aware that you may not have a lot of ammo in your gun, then it shouldn't really impact that much. This is a mouse. So we went through this, let's have a look again. So remember, this is just like your choice. Just maybe experiment with it all. And Dead Zone, let's talk about Dead Zone. Okay, so Dead Zone basically is, wait. If you're looking around, it basically, I'm not sure how to explain this, but, if you just, let's say you move a tiny bit, if your dead zone is very low, it will move. Even if you, give it micro movements, it will move. But the problem, just the thought of that, oh, that's pretty good, but the problem with that is that if you have dead zone really low, it's basically guaranteed that you will have drift, controller drift, and if I do it micro movements, see, look, you see, my camera is drifting, but I'm not actually touching my controller, and that can affect you a lot mid-gameplay. See, look, I'm not touching my controller and I'm moving. So that's kind of the problem with a low dead zone. It basically, if you just give it micro movements, your controller will drift. That's why make sure it's not too high, but make sure it's not too low. Usually, I just keep it at 20, like the default, because there's no drift and it's still reasonably small, it doesn't matter. See, look, if you have it too high, then the problem is, I don't think anyone's got their controller at 83, but, I have to move my controller stick so much in order just for me to move. See, look. I'm still moving it and it's not moving. See, look at that. Look at how far I am and it's not even moving. Wow. And now I'm moving. At this point, I am moving. And even at there, I'm not moving at all. So yeah, dead zone is basically at what point of your stick will it actually actually process the movement. So personally, I just keep it at 20. It's kind of the perfect one. That's why it's the default one. So don't really worry about your, oops, I accidentally reset the whole thing. Don't worry about your dead zone. unless you're having controller drift, it either means that you have your dead zone is too low, or there's like something in your stick. Maybe clean it, or purely your controller's old and you know you need to, I'll do that later. Maybe your just controller is old and you just need to fix it a bit, or just get another one. Yeah, volume doesn't matter at all. So I'm just gonna go through what my keybinds are. So obviously this is RT and this is just to shoot, like to shoot, you know, and LT is to aim. So these two, for just combat controls, you don't change them. Like I don't think anyone changes them, and I think not changing them is the most logical, most logical move, because it's literally, I can't think of anything or any reason why you'd want to change it. And this is RB and this is LB. And let's say in your loadout, hang on, I'm not really sure how to use creative that well. Weapons, let's just spawn, equip, whatever. Okay, so let's say, as you can see, I currently am holding the burst pulse rifle, and if I want to change what I'm holding, if I want to go to the hammer assault rifle, I would press RB. If I want to go back to my pulse assault rifle, I would press LB. But since I only have two guns in my inventory, as you can see, I could just press them both, because if like your entire inventory is full, you can just press RB to go back to the first one instead of pressing LB like 5 times. So yeah, this isn't too hard to understand. It just is about like just switching your inventory. It goes one place to the right or one place to the left. Alright, now this, I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's called like the D-pad or something. But this would be my inventory. I think it's the easiest one because you just gotta quickly reach down. It's not that much distance. It's very easy to get to. But for all of these controls, it's up to you because they don't affect much unless you're putting these as like the very main roles, such as edit or something like that. But other than that, as you can see, the top one is inventory, the left one is place marker, the right one is sprint and auto sprint, and the down one is emote. So just some very not the most vital controls, but you know, just I guess helpful ones, of course. And yeah, so I would definitely recommend A is jumping, because I mean jumping is very important in gameplay, so that's why it's very close to the viewing stick. And that's also why I wouldn't recommend putting B as your edit, as I've explained before, because I mean you try to put the controls as close to the sticks, because the sticks are the most important I guess buttons on a computer. Not on a computer, a controller. Because I mean this one is movement and this one is viewing, so they're the most important ones, hands down. That's why if you're going to make anything a certain role, try like in particular important ones, try and make it as close as possible to the sticks. Okay, that's why you should have your left or right stick as edit. So A would be jump. You can change that to one of these though. I mean, it doesn't impact it that much, but A would just probably be the best one. X is reload for me. You know, very important role. That's why it's X. And Y is just toggle pickaxe. I think all of these are equally important. Yeah, it doesn't matter what order they're in, as long as these 4 roles are on one of these buttons, it shouldn't affect it that much. I wouldn't recommend changing your entire like settings, like just switching all of it up, because first of all, it'll take a long time to get used to, and I doubt it would be the best if you switch all of it up, because just don't change it to the regular ones, because I mean, the regular one is kind of what Epic like recommends for you. So if you change it too much, then it might get too much. So for the build controls, on keyboard and mouse, you can change the build controls to whatever suits you. Like, you can literally change to whatever you want. You can even change the movement ones. It's a bit different for controller. So the default building ones for keyboard and mouse is ZXCV, and they're not the most ideal building binds. That's why everyone changes it. Whereas for controller, I'm telling you now, you don't change it. Like, this is simple common sense. It's logical. It's reasonable. You don't change it. It's just like the fire and the shooting ones and the inventory slots. It's just like you don't touch these. You don't change these at all. And yeah, that's that's kind of all for build controls. Edit controls, yeah, so what I do, so RT, which is this, is my select, so, and then RB is my reset, and then LB is my confirm. I'm gonna show you what this is. So let's say I built something, I edited something, and I press my edit button to reset it. So if I want to select something in an edit, I will use RT to select it. Done. And if I want to reset it, instead of just redoing it, there's a much easier way. Okay, there's a much easier way when you can just, if you just assign one of these slots as as reset and confirm, then it's a lot easier. So RB is my reset. So instead of needing to select all of these back, I could just press this, and all I need to do is confirm. That way, it's really easy because I could just go like this. It's so easy to click. You see that? So that's that. Yeah, so in edit, like, basically all of these are free, so it's not like you need to actually have a hard think about which ones you can assign, because in the edit controls, all of them, these four, I think in the beginning, like the original one, they're all unbound, so it's really easy. Ability controls, I'm not really sure what this is. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but now I'm going to explain to you the other controls. So when I say that, I'm referring to these three and that. So, I mean, if you're new to Fortnite, or if you're just new to, let's say you just bought a new console, this would just be to go to your Xbox game bar, or your PlayStation game bar. I'm not really sure what to call it, but yeah. So that's a more general kind of thing, that this is depending on your actual console. This isn't really about Fortnite. So this one with the 3 lines, I'm not sure. I think this is kind of irrelevant for PlayStation controllers, because I don't know what a PlayStation controller is. But the 3 lines basically brings you to the menu, your friends hub, and it basically gives you the ability to return to lobby, go to your settings, back to hub, all of that. Turn your mic on, accept friend requests, join your friends, and looking at your profile. And that's it. So, yeah, that's very basic, very simple. This one right here is to basically take a screenshot. It's another kind of, it's very similar to this. It's an Xbox kind of thing. It's a more general console kind of ability. It's not really a Fortnite certain thing, so I don't really assign anything to this or that. I don't even think you can, but yeah. And this one, it means that you can go into your map, check the map. Let's say if you're in your game, you can check the map, see where the storm's headed. And quests, you can have a look at your quests. I'm in creative right now, so I can't really have a look. I can't complete the quests, but it shows you what the quests are. And that's it. So this is what my my Xbox controller looks like. It's really, really simple. But if you did enjoy this video, or if this helped you, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.